Have you seen this exercise where people are just walking around with weights in their hands? Well, I got curious, and so I found out what it was. It's called the farmer's walk or farmer's carry, and apparently it's an excellent compound exercise. It trains your back, your shoulders, your arms, your stomach, your butt, and your legs. It also stabilizes you, and you get better posture. It trains your joints, like your wrists, shoulders, and ankles, and you get a better grip. Oh, and it's a good primer for the rest of your training because you tense up everything, so you activate your muscles, not only the ones I've already mentioned, but everything from your neck to your toes when you do this exercise. According to the guys from the Mind Pump, who I highly recommend, by the way, this is one of the top 15, if not top 10 exercises you could do at the gym. It's that good. I couldn't find anything online whether this exercise is good for obese beginner or not. So I had to try and find out for myself, which I'm now happy to share with you. I found 3 potential problems for obese beginners when doing the farmer's walk. Number 1 is getting the weights off the ground. According to the instructions when it comes to farmer's walk, you need to carry heavy. And that's because if it's light enough for you to do bicep curls with the weights, you're not going to tense up your body, and thus you're not going to get any of the benefits pretty much from doing this exercise. So you need to carry heavy, and lifting 2 heavy things, one in each arm from the floor, is not easily done for obese people like myself. There's a reason we prefer slip-on shoes. Fortunately, we're smart people. We can figure this out. If you're using dumbbells and they're already in a stack at a good height, you could just lift them one in each hand off the stack. If they're not at a good height, you can put them at a good height by using a bench. So use 2 hands to take 1 dumbbell at a time and put them on top of the bench, and then from there, tense your muscles and stand up. And that is an exercise in and of itself, and it's very similar to a deadlift or a squat. If you're using kettlebells, the handles are already off the floor at a better height for you. So you should be able to do what I do here, stand wide, and then bend down like a squat and lift them up. And when you stand wide like that, it's called a sumo squat. Problem solved. Let's look at problem number 2, which is fat being in the way. We are big people, and I have so much fat around my thighs and my midriff that I can't really have my arms straight along my body, shoulder width apart all the way down. It just doesn't work like that. So I found out that this affects the farmer's walk depending on the weights you're carrying. And at first I thought the dumbbells would be better than the kettlebells because the kettlebells have this massive weight part, and I thought that would bounce off my legs and that would not be good. But it turns out the dumbbells were actually harder. And so the dumbbells have a handle in the middle, and then there's 2 weights to the side. And I thought they were far enough away that potentially I can get my arms closer to my legs, but that turned out not to be true. So when you can see me walking here, these 2 different ways, the dumbbells are actually moving a lot more with the wrists, and it just did not feel right. It felt a lot worse, and I should flip that and say it felt a lot better to use the kettlebells. So that's what I would go forward using, is the kettlebells to make that work when doing the farmer's walk. Note here as well, I notice when I film myself that I sway a little bit back and forth when I walk. And I know that they said in the instructions not to do that. You should walk as straight as you possibly can. But then I film myself just walking without weights, and I actually sway a little bit when I just walk. So that's a normal walk for me, and I'm not that worried about it. The third potential problem, I would say, is fear of carrying heavy weights and getting injured. This is very legit fear, and I think that's what keeps a lot of people from the gym to do any sort of exercise like that. And to cure that fear, you need to take action. And so if it's too much to do heavy weights to start with, start lighter. And yes, you won't get all of those benefits if you do a lighter weight but it doesn't matter. You can start with something light where you don't get all of the benefits, but at least you've taken action. You've come past that fear of starting. And once you've done it a few times, you can just add more weights as you go because you've already overcome your fear. Overcoming these problems, I really like this exercise and I want to incorporate it into my routine. I am on week 4 of my routine right now, and I do 4-week cycles of my routine. So starting next week, I'll change it up. And I will be exchanging either the deadlift or the squat for the farmer's walk in my next cycle. I haven't quite decided yet. If I can do this, you can too. See you at the gym.